Imagine you've been designing all day long and then you got a call that, oh, you have to make some changes on a reusable element. Like reusable elements like buttons, drop down, search boxes, hamburger menus, sidebars, those kind of elements that you use across all the frames. Now imagine how tasking that would be. But the thing is, there's a simple solution, and Figma has taken care of that for you by creating components. So components are basically using one element across all boards. So in this video, I'll be talking about how to create components and also to create variants using those components. Let's dive in. So basically, like I said earlier, components are just basically reusable elements in your design. So take for example your buttons, your tabs, your segmented tabs, everything. These are components. This could also be components too. Basically anything reusable in your design. So the reasons for creating components, my own reason for creating components is just to make it easier for me for consistency and other things, like if I want to make certain changes. Now take for example here, let me create a button. This is the frame. And let me round those corners up. Let me make this height, because this is too much. So 60. Say 60 and okay. I think this is okay. And my text. Let me make it 14. Okay, take for example this button. Make this white and this gray. Oh, it's supposed to be white. Okay. So this is a button. So you know that buttons that are reusable can be reused anywhere in the design, like in your total project. So let me make this a component. So what I do is, for me to make this a component, I either click on this. This is a master component. So if you notice, any master component, you'd always see this here. This completes 4 diamonds. And to create components, you could also, let me Ctrl Z. To create components, you could also use Ctrl Alt K on Windows. And to create instances, take for example, so instances are copies of the main component. Let me name this button. So if I were to tap on Ctrl C and go to the next page and click on Ctrl V. So this is basically an instance. So you will notice if you go to your to the layers panel, you'd see that this is just 1 diamond instead of this that has 4 tiny diamonds inside. This is just an outline. So this means that this is an instance of this master button here. And you could also do this by clicking Control. You could also create an instance of the master component by clicking Control D. That's duplicate, then drag. Or you could just create it by clicking Alt and then you left key of your mouse and you drag it. Just create instances. So there are situations whereby you'd have different types of button. Yeah. So take for example, you want to there's primary button, secondary button, and there are outline buttons. So take for example, you want to create a secondary button, for example. So you click on this and you go to your design panel here, you click on the variants. So let's see secondary. So this is where you name them. So by default, if you click on, you could also tap on this and click on it again. So by default, they are called variants. If you don't name them, look, this is the default because this is the main component which you started from. So let me delete this. Oh, my bad. Okay, where are you? So let me delete this. Let me add the stroke here. Stroke. Make this white. Yeah, so when you have things like this, so if you want to change this instance to this, you could also come to the design panel here, and you see property 1 under this button component, property 1, then you see default, and you see secondary. Or you want to go to the main component and let's say you are somewhere far off in the design, and once you click go back to the main component, you could just click on this, go to main component, or you could right click and click go to the main component. What's happening? I don't know what happened. Probably my computer froze. Basically, you could right click and create. You could go to main component from here. So easy. Now components also have disadvantage, whereby you could, if you make changes to the master component, you make changes to this is just like how you make changes to one, you could also make the changes you make would also reflect on the other one. So take for example, you change the color of this button. See, so there's a design request for you to change this to another color. So you could do this. You could even change the size. Basically. And yeah, that's all for components. And there's also this thing that Figma just released a few months ago. That's interactive components. So now let's say, okay, let me create a text field. Let me take one. Okay. So you know, for text field, you have different states. You have the default states, you have the active states, and you have the field state basically. So default state is just when there is nothing inside. Let's say you haven't filled this, for example. So let me group this. Let me create component. Let me just group this. So the other way is to also create components and variants. So this is another way. So I used Shift and Alt, and I dragged it to duplicate this. So this is when it's active. Let me look for the active states. The stroke. So I use green. And change this up a little bit. Like this. And which state should be this? So I could highlight everything, and then you see this drop down here, click on it, and you create component set. So this is the main default, and these are variants basically. So let me call this input. Let me name this default active and event. So let me make them interactive. So let me I shall try to create a frame so you see how it looks like. So for me to make them interactive, I have to prototype them. So you go to your prototype and you click on this. So you drag the line down to this. So you add it to active when it's on top. Yes, on top. Then you can add the animation. So let me use Smart Animate. And for this also, you change it to, like, see when you are done typing for the MP, you also drag this down until it Smart Animate. So let me copy this. So basically, I just want to see, I want to show you guys how it will look like when it's prototype, but I don't know why this is taking so long exactly. So tap on it, shows you the active state, and you tap on it, shows you the failed state. Easy. So that, guys, this is how you create variants, make your component interactive, and here, easy peasy.
So I hope you are able to learn from this and not make the mistake of not creating components initially before you start any design. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Thank you very much.